It's time for the top 10 worst cards for your pre-release deck in Guilds of Ravnica. Hey everybody, we're here to tell you what not to play in your sealed pool for the pre-release this weekend.
That's right, it's our favorite time of year when we get to crack open brand new packs and play with fresh cards.
Yeah.
But some of those cards are better than others.
A few caveats before we begin. Number one, we're talking specifically about sealed deck for Guilds of Ravnica. We're not talking about Commander. We're not talking about Standard.
We're not talking about
Modern.
draft even.
Oh yeah, even draft.
Because sometimes you can pick up a card in draft and you're like, now I'm going to draft around this card. I'm going to make it great. You can't do that with a sealed pool.
Yes, you can say that in corner cases, these cards are going to be awesome, but that's going to be one game in maybe what, 100, 200? So we're going to just set our sights as realistic as humanly possible on when will these cards be the best the most often. And
Yes.
in these cards' cases, they are more often than not going to be bad in your sealed games.
All right, so first up, we've got a Dimir card, Unmoored Ego.
Yes, this is a 1 blue-black sorcery. Choose a card name, search target opponent's graveyard, hand, and library for up to 4 cards with that name, and exile them. That player shuffles their library, then draws a card for each card exiled from their hand this way.
Wow, I guess if you draw this in the first game, you're just going to have to blind name something.
Ooh, I feel like they've
Just
got
like,
Niv Mizzet.
Let me just
My
sort of
spidey
guess.
Yeah, exactly. So,
And if you end up in Dimir and maybe you see a bomb in game 1, like maybe you put this in game 2, maybe, but even then,
No.
it's not great.
it's card for card.
And if
like,
you open up this card, it's not going to push you into Dimir by any stretch of the imagination.
No. This is a constructed card and should only be used in the most dire of emergencies.
Yes. That being said, if you're in Dimir and you find yourself facing, for instance, a Niv Mizzet in game 1, you could bring this in game 2. Make sure that you also have in your mind some other targets for it in case they cast that Niv Mizzet before you get to this.
That's true. And maybe just cast your removal. I know they're going to get to draw a card and ping you, but like, what else are you going to do?
I mean, I'm saying, in my mind, this counts as removal in games 2 and 3 if you're already in Dimir.
Okay.
Like, if you have to do it, right? Like, what if you didn't open a great lot of removal? Then it's like, okay, then I am going to, in a pinch, put this card in my deck.
So there's a corner case, sideboard-wise,
Yeah.
and you might want to bring it in.
But then, does that make it a good rare?
No.
No. Our next card is a modern staple, Amoeba.
Yes, welcome back, reprint. A lot of people are very happy to see this card reprinted. 1 in a blue for an illusion that's flying. It's a 1/1. When it is put into your graveyard from your library, you may put it onto the battlefield.
So great in Dredge in Modern. It's even good with Surveil.
Yeah.
But what did you get? A 1/1 flyer.
I mean, I am not enthused. Like, people are like, kick a combo. I surveil, put this in my graveyard. Boom, now I've got a 1/1 flyer. And I'm like, congratulations.
You got a 1/1 flyer.
I don't know why you wanted that to begin
Great
with.
job.
You're not in Selesnya. You're not in Boros, where 1/1s matter for Mentor. I mean, maybe you have a weird Jeskai deck, but even then I'm just like,
Not great.
no, because I'm not
Not
surveilling
great.
probably a lot. Yeah, I personally don't think this is worth it to put in your surveil deck. Other people disagree with that, I think, but
Yeah, I guess here's my question. Obviously, this will not push you into blue by any stretch of the imagination.
No.
You open this rare and you're like, my rare is a 1/1.
hooray.
Yes. But if you're in Dimir and you have surveil, do you put this in?
I don't want to, but I don't know if I'm wrong.
I think I probably would. Only if I had a lot of surveil.
Yeah. So you probably want like 6.
I'm not happy about it
6
though.
surveillors minimum. Coming up next, number 3 is Ionize. 1 blue-red for an instant counter target spell. It deals 2 damage to that spell's controller.
Oh man, look, my rare is a counter spell that I can open at common also.
Wow, brutal. Yeah, you get to deal 2 to them, and maybe once you'll kill somebody with that. But like, I guess congratulations. I don't know.
Yeah,
it's not exciting.
I just don't want my rare to be a card that's effect is basically
Cancel.
also at maybe it's maybe the surveil one is at uncommon. But even so, like, I don't want that to be the power level of the rares that I'm opening in my pre-release.
That's a little bit disappointing. That said, I'll probably play this if I'm playing it in Izzet deck.
Oh, absolutely.
So it's not like you shouldn't play this card. It's just like
I shouldn't say absolutely, but like if I'm already in Izzet and this is in my pool, I probably will play this counter spell.
Yeah, one of.
Oh boy. Next up, we've got Mausoleum Secret.
The Mausoleum has many secrets.
1 and a black, instant, undergrowth. Search your library for a black card with converted mana cost less than or equal to the number of creature cards in your graveyard. Reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle your library.
Wow, I can tutor for whatever I want.
Well, it has to be a black card.
Okay, so I can tutor for any black card.
Well, it has to be, have a converted mana cost equal to or less than the number of creature cards in your graveyard.
Oh, well, I'm doing undergrowth, so I have like 3 in there.
Well, that's pretty good. I could make a case for this in the late game, being like, if you have like 6 creatures in there, and it's like, oh, maybe I really need my removal spell. This is a way to go and get it. So again, like, I'll put this in my black deck if I already have an undergrowth theme.
Pretty strong one too. And by the way, if you're playing this in the late game, chances are you might have already drawn your demon that you wanted to go and get with this anyway, or you might have already had your kill spell in hand that you're using for this. So there is always the risk of that, and then you have to use it to go get something that's worse.
Yeah, it's not, I would rather play something better. That being said, we were noticing we were making this list, like, these aren't the worst rares that we've ever named in this video segment.
Absolutely not. We have had way bigger stinkers on our list in sets past.
Like, all of these, it's like, oh, this will be a rare that you're sad to open because it's like, oh boy, I wish that this was just
I wish this was the 6/6 demon.
Exactly, but it's not.
Yeah.
But that being said, you can still make a case for playing a lot of them, which is not something that you can do with some of the cards that we talk about.
No, some of them from past sets we have said
you
never put this in your deck.
Never put it in your deck.
Yep.
And these ones, it's like, do you know what? You could put this in your deck. But it's just not a great rare. You're just gonna not have the power level that you need in a sealed environment.
Up next, this card's pretty fun, Megan.
Yeah, Drowned Secrets. 1 and a blue for an enchantment. Whenever you cast a blue spell, target player puts the top 2 cards of their library into their graveyard. So you can try and mill somebody.
So I'm very excited to play this in draft.
Yeah, you're gonna draft a mono blue deck around Drowned Secrets?
I think it's gonna be very fun.
Ooh.
Couple copies, maybe, fingers crossed. Just kidding, that's never gonna happen. But I do think it will be passed around the table more frequently than other rares.
Yeah.
That being said, will I have the deck to be able to do this in sealed? Chances are no.
No.
Yeah, because you're probably playing 2 colors, likely even 3 colors with all the guild gates running around, that this isn't going to trigger enough times to give you what you need, which is milling your opponent to death. Keep in mind, milling only works if you mill every card from your opponent.
Yeah.
Putting random cards into their graveyard isn't a benefit because it's random.
Yeah.
So you might hit something great and you're like, oh, I'm doing it. But at the same time, you might hit something bad that they would have drawn instead and given them space to draw their good card.
Yeah.
So you can't think of milling like that.
If you end up in a lot of long, grindy games and you're already in blue, though, again, that's a place for this card, which we saw sometimes in Dominaria.
Yeah.
In Sealed, you could end up with people who are just like, well, these games are so long and so grindy. My plan is actually going to be to make sure that my opponent draws more cards. Exactly. Draws more cards out of their library than I do.
So 2 things I want to say about this as well is keep in mind that your jumpstart is a thing. So you could potentially be giving them essentially, quote unquote, drawing them half of a card. And 2, if they are also Dimir or have a heavy surveil theme, they're going to help you out a little bit with this. So there's that to keep in mind too.
All right, another enchantment up next. Unsurprising, enchantment is a card type that makes it frequently into these videos.
1,000-Year Storm.
That's right. This card is so sweet, but it's just not a good rare.
I love this card. 4 blue-red enchantment. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, copy it for each other instant and sorcery spell you've cast before it this turn. You may choose new targets for the copies.
So I need to have made it to 6 mana to cast this.
Yes.
It does nothing on the turn that I cast it.
No.
It is just there.
It's there.
On my next turn, I need to have not 1, but at least 2 instants or sorceries in my hand to have any effect. At that point, it is pretty sweet. Whatever my second one is, I'll get to copy.
Yeah.
But at the same time, That was a lot of work
That was
for
a lot of
very
work.
little payoff. And like, okay, so like that turn I got it to go off by having 2 instants or sorceries. What about the next turn? Am I going to be able to do it again? Or am I going to be
Probably
like
not.
just top decking and drawing 1 card a turn and not being able to make use of this?
Yeah, in Magical Christmas Land, this is like the king of Magical Christmas Land, this
Yeah.
card. But unfortunately, that's not where we live most of the year. Here's another Is It card, Firemind's Research. Blue-red for an enchantment, shocker. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, put a charge counter on Firemind's Research. 1 in a blue, remove 2 charge counters from it, draw a card. 1 in a red, remove 5 charge counters from it. It deals 5 damage to any target.
Okay, well, I need to look at this picture. Is this Niv Mizzet looking in a mirror?
Yeah, it is.
Right?
He's like,
He's
I'm
just
so
like
pretty.
peering into a mirror, like, oh.
Pretty.
I mean, I would look into a mirror a lot too if that's what I looked like.
I mean, Niv Mizzet, you look great.
Once again, we're just talking about the amount of work that you're putting into this to have any sort of payoff. So you already spent 1 card on it.
Yes.
You have to spend.
You remove that card essentially
Exactly.
from your, from
1
your
card,
deck.
5 more cards, and then you get 5 damage.
Okay.
Okay. Or you can spend this plus 2 cards, and then you draw a card. It's just not enough.
There's a lot of spells.
You're putting so much into it.
And there's like jumpstart and stuff. So if you're in a very dedicated Is It deck, I guess like this for me still says that this is a draft card.
Yeah, even if, so you're thinking of, you have 23 spells, right?
Yep.
And you need, if you have like the minimum of creatures, which is, even in my world is like 12.
Yeah.
So you're leaving yourself 11 instant and sorcery spots. Okay, so this takes up 1 of them. That's 10.
10.
All right, so you have 10 instants and sorceries. That makes it seem like maybe it's okay, but you're already building your deck on like a shaky foundation here.
Yeah, this is just gonna be,
Yes.
this is like a fun card, I think that.
And you also have to like draw it before, like you have to draw it and cast it before you've cast a bunch of those instants and sorceries.
Yes.
Because otherwise
Not
you're
in
not getting
reverse
the
order.
charge counters.
You're
Yeah.
gonna draw it and it's gonna be completely 100% DOA.
Yeah. That being said, I mean, like, I want to watch someone go off
Oh,
with
yeah,
this.
for
I want to
sure.
see someone with their like 10 creature, 13 spell deck.
Yes, that'd be sweet. Coming up next, it's Gruesome Menagerie. 3 black for a sorcery. Choose a creature card with converted mana cost 1 in your graveyard. Then do the same for creature cards with converted mana cost 2 and 3. Return those cards to the battlefield.
Okay. Fine.
I don't know what particularly why I want.
You got
those
3
cards back.
creatures, but also you put a 1 CMC card in your deck to make this happen.
That's true. And especially in this weird undergrowth theme,
Yeah.
you're not necessarily playing your 1-drops as much as you might be in Boros or Celestia, like we said. before.
Exactly. Like, oh, now you have a 1/1 again. I'm so afraid.
Megan's like, yeah, cast your Gruesome Menagerie.
Exactly.
Okay.
Oh, you got back your Child of Night. Oh no, what am I gonna do about this 2/1?
I just want you on call for every time Gruesome Menagerie is cast, and then you just pop in and you're just like, oh no, your 2/2 with Vigilance is back. Whatever shall I do?
I mean, that's what it is.
You're getting a couple of cards for 1 card, I guess, but like, are they any good?
No.
Probably
Moving
not.
on. Next up, we've got Mission Briefing. Instant, blue, surveil 2, then choose an instant or sorcery card in your graveyard. You may cast that card this turn. If it would be put into your graveyard this turn, exile it instead. So it's basically giving jumpstart.
Mission Briefing is something that people will look at and say, oh, I'm really going to do it because I've got my 5 mana kill anything spell.
Yeah.
And I'm going to cast that, and then I'm going to get sweet value because I'm going to Mission Briefing it back. The problem with that...
I like that world.
That sounds awesome, first of all, but this remember that costs 7 mana, and it
Yeah.
includes 2 blue mana and 2 black mana. So that is not the easiest equation to put together. It is pretty sweet, but it's not going to be easy.
Wait, I got to 7 mana and I don't have 2 blue and 2 black?
Yeah.
Wow, my land draws really suck. Or my mana base was very bad.
Your mana base in this scenario, your mana base is lacking a little bit.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
But like, if you're playing a lot of cheap removal, I guess it could be okay. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I imagine this as being decent, even if it's like, again, we're talking about that deck where it's like 10 instants and sorceries. And maybe this one I would play if I had, like 6 really good ones.
Dead weight.
Is Dead Weight is a spell?
Oh, it's
I
an
thought
aura.
It's an enchantment.
Yeah, you're right. Never mind.
Yeah, but
am I
if I
doing
had,
with this?
if I had 6 really good ones, maybe I would play this. But it's not a great rare, which is why it's in this video. Because again, for all of these, we can make the argument of these are much better rares than we've put in these videos before.
Oh, yes.
But they're still not great rares when someone else is going to play like Aurelia, and you're just like, okay.
Oh, great.
There's your giant angel, and I got mission briefing. Great.
Also, you had to have used your thing before mission briefing. I don't know.
Yeah. I'll say that this was a point of contention going into this. It was not on my list. I thought that there were cruddier cards than this one, but here we are. Maria.
What?
Not respecting the power of instants and sorceries.
Okay, well, time will tell. Time will tell where this
really
ends up.
will.
Our final card that we're going to talk about isn't necessarily, quote unquote, one of the worst rares in the set, but we wanted to tell you a cautionary tale.
That's right. Chromatic Lantern. 3 mana artifact. Lands you control have tap, add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. Tap Chromatic Lantern, add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. And people are going to look at this and they're going to be like, great, I have all this fixing. But people are going to build bad mana bases because of this.
Yes.
They will have 1 Chromatic Lantern and they're going to be like, oh, I'm okay with these splashes. And then because of that, they're not going to pay attention to actually what their mana base needs to be. This only counts as 1 source.
Yes.
So when you're going through your deck and you're like, okay, I'm splashing 2 red cards, how many sources do I need? And they're gonna be like, well, I have Chromatic Lantern. And it's like, it counts as 1 source.
Yeah.
You do not get to count it as more than that, even though it will make all of your lands tap for that color.
So it is mana ramp and it will help smooth out your mana in the game, but like Megan said, please do not think that this equals your mana base is great, because it's only 1 card and it might be on the bottom of your deck the whole stinking game.
Exactly. So you need to be able to cast the cards in your deck if you don't draw Chromatic Lantern. So that's a cautionary tale.
A cautionary tale.
A story that says don't make mistakes, kids.
So as we said, this set was pretty thin in terrible cards.
It really was. That being said, there are some incredibly powerful rares out there, like our Nightmare Sphinx.
Ooh, so
who's
good.
out there, right? People are gonna have that, and then you're gonna get like Firemind's research, and you're like, great, okay. This is the world as I know it.
We always have somebody who's like, oh, I pulled all of your worst rares in my sealed pool, and we are here for you. We understand.
We're sorry.
We're sorry. We've been there too, you know. We've had terrible sealed pools in our days.
Someone's going to play Niv Mizzet against you, and you're going to be like, well, here's my Ionize.
And
actually, Ionize takes care of it. Wait, no, it can't be countered. Never mind.
No. By the way, we're not coming from a place of complete ignorance, by the way. Despite our 6 years of experience or whatever, we've actually drafted this set 2 times.
That's right.
So we have seen it in the flesh, in the wild, and that's kind of where some of our evaluations are coming from. That all said, I'm super excited for the pre-release.
Same.
One is certainly not going to sate my appetite because I love pre-releases so much, and Guilds of Ravnica is really awesome to play. Yeah. That is confirmed because we've already done it. No big deal.
You just have to keep putting that sick brag in there. One more time. We already played it.
If you have any thoughts about what we've said, or if you have any of your top 10 worst that you want to add to the list that you think we forgot, or you think we're right, whatever, head into the comments and let us know what you thought and tell us how your pre-release went. Niv Mizzet is really good.